Magandang araw, ito na naman po ang inyong lagalag na guro. At ang lesson po natin ngayon is Laws of Exponents. So our goals are to discuss the laws of exponent and to simplify a given problem using laws of exponents. So every day we are dealing with exponents. So we can see that in our debt from other government or from other banks, international banks, as debt of the Philippines increases from year zero to up to present. So from maybe a million, then our debt now is in trillions of pesos. So bacterial exponential growth in bacteria. So our food, pag hindi po natin nilagay sa rep, madalis pong mapanis. Kasi yung bacteria, yung pagdami niya is exponential. Okay? So hindi lang siya basta nadodoble, natitriple, or nagiging 4 times. So yung paggamit ng smartphone, nowadays, hindi lang po isang cellphone na pag-aari ng isang tao. Minsan, 2 or 3 po. Iba ang pantawag, iba ang pantext, iba ang panglaro. So, yung sales na ngayon, dati nakakabenta lang ng 5 or 3 or 10 milyon piraso. Ngayon, doblehin mo yun o triplehin mo yun. And nag-i-increase as nagdodoble yan 10-folds as years passes. Okay? So, last one, yung napapanahon po, yung spread ng virus. So, pag nahawa yung isang tao, pwede siyang makahawa ng 3 or 5 tao. At yung nahawahan niya ay ganun din, makakahawa ng 5 hanggang 3 hanggang 5 tao. So, ang pagkalat ng virus ay napakabilis, exponentially. Okay? Okay. So, what is an exponent? So, exponent is also called power or index. Okay, so the exponent of a number says how many times to use a number in a multiplication. So for our example, 8 squared. So your 8 here is your base and your 2 here is your exponent. So exponent is the number of times you are going to multiply your base by itself. So okay, so since this is 2, so you will multiply 8 2 times to itself. So 8 squared is equal to 8 times 8 is equal to 64. Okay? So we have here other examples, 8 to the 7. So 8 to the 7, you are to multiply a 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you rewrite that, that is a. Okay, so example, our third example, x to the 6. So that is x to the 6, you are to multiply x to itself by 6 times. So x. So therefore, an exponent saves us writing out lots of multiplies. So piniprevent lang ni exponent yung sulat natin tong mahahabang ito. Okay, instead of writing these a's and these x's, so we have a to the 7 and x to the 6. Okay? Okay, let's proceed to product rule. So, product rule is rule number 1. So, this is to multiply when 2 bases are the same, write the base and add the exponent. So, when your base 2 or 3 bases are the same, you just add the exponent. Okay, so for example, x raised to the m, x to the n is equal to, you copy the base, then you add m plus n. That is your general formula. So xm to the n, x to the n is just xm and m plus n. So for example, x squared and x cubed. So you have your base is x, you copy it, then you add their exponents, which are 2 and 3. So x2 plus 3 is equal to x to the 5th. So how about this one? 2 to the 4th and 2 to the 2nd, you multiply that. Then you copy the base, which is 2. They are the same. So 4 plus 2, 2 to the 6th. 2 to the 6 is your answer already, but you can further simplify this by multiplying 2 6 times. Okay? Not 2 times 6, but multiplying 2 6 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, and times 2 is 64. So 2 to the 6 is equal to 64. Okay? So x squared y x cubed times x cubed y to the 4th. So how is this? You have two terms already, so isa-isahin po natin. You focus here, you focus on x first, then you write x, then you add their exponents 2 and 3, then you proceed to your next term, which is y, then you write it, kasi you have the same base, then 1 plus 4. So, 1 is not, it is a standard that you are no longer writing 1 here, but that is understood 1. So, that is where 1 is coming from. So, 1 plus 4, so the answer is x to the fifth, y to the fifth. Okay? Okay, so our rule number 2 is called quotient rule. So if we have product rule, we have quotient rule. So this is division. So to divide the two bases are the same, bases should be the same, write the base and subtract the exponents. So a while ago, we are adding the exponents. This time, we are going to subtract the exponents. So our general equation or general formula is xm to the n, x to the n. So is equal to x m minus n. So, okay. So, for example, x to the fourth, x squared is equal to, what is your base? Your base is x. Then you subtract 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is equal to x raised to the second power. So, another example, x to the 6 over x squared is equal to, you copy your base x, then 6 minus 2 is equal to x to the fourth. Okay, you have questions? Do not hesitate to ask. You write it in our comment box. Our third rule is zero exponent rule. So, our first rule is product. The second rule is about quotient. And our third rule is zero exponent rule. What is this? Any base except 0 raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. So any base raised to 0 is equal to 1. So any letter, any numbers that you raise to 0, that is equal to 1. That is very, very easy. Okay? That is easy. Anything you raise to 0, that is 1. So x raised to 0, 1. 7 raised to 0, 1. Y raised to 0 is equal to 1. You have questions? None. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed to power rule. Power rule is to raise a power to another power. Then you write the base and multiply the exponents. So what is this? You have your quantity with exponent, then you raise that to another exponent. That is a power rule. So our general formula or general equation is x m open close parenthesis raised to the n. So what will you do? Copy the base. Where is your base? Your base here is x. Then you write it. Then you just multiply the exponents. So m times n. That's it. That is your equation. Okay, so example. X squared raised to the third power. X squared raised to the third power. So your answer is x 2 times 3. Then x is equal to x to the 6. Okay? Klaro po? So, we have x squared to the third power. Then, what will you do? You copy the base. Then, you multiply the exponents. Then, you have your final answer. Another example, y to the fourth squared. So, you copy the base, which is y. Then, you multiply 4 times 2 is equal to y to the 8. Okay? So, our next rule is expanded rule. Expanded power rule. Okay, so it's quite similar to rule number 4, but we have two terms, x and y. Okay, so what will you do is to expand the exponent n. So for example, x and y is equal to x to the n. You multiply here 1, that is understood 1. That is understood 1. 1 times n is ny raised to the n. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let's have an example. Xy cubed is equal to, just expand 3 here. So it will become x cubed and y cubed. Okay, so how about our second example? We have a number here, 2y cubed. So just expand. So you write 2 cubed y cubed is equal to 8y cubed. How come? So 2 cubed is actually 8. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So your final answer is 8y cubed. If your teacher will allow you to use calculator, just press it 3 times. 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? Pero your teacher will not allow you to do that. So you should know how to multiply small numbers. Okay? Okay. Rule number 6. What is rule number 6? So rule number 6 is negative exponents. What will happen if we have negative exponents? If a factor in the numerator and or denominator is moved across a fraction bar, the sign of the exponent is changed. Okay? So, what will happen? What is your answer? So, this is it. If you have your negative exponent, it's 1 over x over n. Okay? So, for example, 1 over x over n. So, that is 1 over x over n. So, just put 1, then you put it in your denominator. So, this is 1 over x cubed. This is 1 over y squared. 2 to the negative 3 is 1 over 2 cubed. So, again, we have 2 cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 1 over 8. Okay? You have questions? You write it in our comment box. Okay? And that's it. So, this is my YouTube channel, Lagalag na Guro. You can subscribe, like, and click the notification bell so someone will remind you if I have uploads. So, okay? So, that's, we have 6 rules, general rules for laws of exponents. So, here's our references. Okay, so we have references. So, and that is our last slide. So, thank you. So, this picture was taken somewhere in Laguna. Okay, so have a nice day. And I hope you learned something from our lesson today. Bye-bye.